Hi Chris.
Okay.
How's the week been in terms of preparation for Saturday's game, not having a midweek game to worry about? So has the preparation been any different?
Yeah, I mean it's always good to have the extra days to train. So yeah, we've obviously I've had a bit of a rest from the last game and then got training again ready for this one. So yeah, time on the training pitch, time in the meetings, time to work on our game, improve. So yeah, it's been very good and everyone's in good spirits now, ready for the next match.
You've probably had a time to dissect the Bristol City game and watch it back a couple of more times. Is there anything else that you picked up that you didn't sort of see with the naked eye first thing on Saturday in the review this week?
Not too much. It's one of those games where you don't need to go into too much detail really to summarise it. I think I felt after the game that we didn't do enough in our attacking play, despite having probably the most possession we've had in a game away from home, I think all season probably. Most control we've had in a game away from home, but we lack that penetration, that final bit around the box to create good chances. And then we get done on one counter-attack and lose 1-0. So it was probably for them the perfect game plan if that's what they were hoping for. And for us, we didn't punish them for the territory and the possession that we had, and that was down to the speed of our play and the movement. And we had a bit more of that, then we would have opened up more space, gaps and chances.
You mentioned the speed there. I think you said after Saturday didn't have enough zip or tempo to our play. Is that something that you really want to see on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I'm fairly confident we'll have that. Typically we do at home. I think we do move the ball quickly. I think when they're sat in that back 5-4-1, there's a lot of bodies back. Bristol this is, and it can sometimes feel quite busy and congested, and you can't quite find that, and then you end up circulating the ball, but you're doing so slowly and pedestrianly. So I think we've got to make sure that in this game that there is an intensity about us, which again there has been. Usually at home we're good with that, and we're going to need to be because Portsmouth are going to make it really difficult.
We've seen a few teams now this season set up in that low block and be compact against us. Is that kind of twofold question? One, is that a bit of respect for how we play? And also, how do we go about combating that so we get the most out of the possession and the territory we have?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably teams will look at it and say, well, we'd be seen as a good footballing team, so are you going to press high and try and disrupt the early build-up, or are you going to let them have it more, or a mixture of the two? But we've had a few teams that I've been surprised actually how much respect they've given us, in the sense of how much they've let us have the ball in their sort of stadiums away from home. And I think the solution we've got to do when we have that much control, possession, territory, and we're getting there, like I say, is by making more forward runs, playing forward a little bit more and a little bit quicker, being a bit more incisive. We don't have to score the perfect goal, but we would create counter-pressing situations, a little bit more chaos, and we can get our shots off and create danger from there. But I think at times when you're just trying to score the perfect goal against that low block, it becomes really difficult, and you do need a set piece to unlock it for you at times. We've got 6 corners against Bristol, they didn't have one, which is, again, I don't think that's happened to us in any away game since I've been here. So out of those 6 corners, if one of them goes in, then you've unlocked it with a set piece. So I think there's ways that we need to be really good in games like that to be better.
Just had a look at some of the statistics this week. I think we're 6th in the division for big chances, 7th XG, 4th for possession, and whilst our expected points is 4 more than we currently have, is the challenge now about making the necessary, is it just minor tweaks that, because the underlying numbers are saying that there's a lot there to like, but it's just that final product. Is it a case of not ripping up the rule book, it's just making the slight tweaks?
Yeah, I firmly believe that. I don't think, well, I certainly don't look at us and think we're miles away from other teams or in our performance level, and you can be on a unfavourable run of wins and look at it and think, how on earth are we going to win games? And I think most people that have been in professional football for a while will have been with teams like that, and it becomes very difficult. That's not how I feel about this team in the slightest. I think we've been close in a lot of games. We haven't quite got over the line in some, but the fundamentals are there. How we play, we do need to be more consistent, create and score more goals. It's the same for a lot of teams, but I'm confident we will do that. We've got obviously a couple of home games, good opportunity for us now, 3 games this week to try and do it. But I don't feel that we're miles away, and I think we probably should really have a few more points than we currently have. But we have to earn those points, and we can start with that on Saturday.
Portsmouth is the next test upcoming this weekend. A team that had a solid first season back in the Championship last season. What sort of test are you expecting this weekend? Yeah,
really solid team. I've often sort of watched them when they've been on and followed them, and I think they've done really well. I think the manager's done a really good job over the time he's been there. I thought they stabilised well last year in the league, and every time I watch them, very competitive. They can play. They've got some good footballers. They can use Bishop, that little bit of a target man, and he's a handful. Really, strong physical striker. Then obviously defensively, they're always organised. They make it difficult. I expect them to probably press and try and disrupt us a little bit. That's typically their way. So yeah, we're going to have good solutions, good quality on the day to open them up, and be really solid, because they've got, with the wingers and the midfielders and obviously the striker, they've got a bit of quality as well.
Being back at home always helps though. It's been a real fortress in your tenure so far. Considering we lost the home record recently, has the message been about kick-starting another run now, starting with this weekend? Yeah,
I think the players do enjoy playing at home. They like it. I think we've always had a good intensity about us. We did lose the last match, unfortunately. Lost our unbeaten record at home, but I don't think that will play too much into their thinking. I think it'll be a case of let's go after this game. What we don't need to do is change too much. I think we need to keep improving our game, but everything's in position. We just got to bring our intensity, bring our football, and try and be relentless with that. And I'm sure we'll get the points that we want.
Just want to ask you a question about Jay. We've seen him play as the 9 in recent weeks. We've also seen him play as the 10. He can play out wide. Do you, as a manager, think he has a best position, or is it just a testament to him that he's able to play in all of those sort of 3 forward positions?
Yeah, I do think he's got a best position. I think his best position is a 9. I think then 10 and sort of left are probably equal. I think he can come off the left well, he can play as a 10 well, but his best position is a 9. And that's where I've played him in recent weeks. He didn't have a lot of service, and there was a lot of bodies around him, and opposition bodies around him on the weekend, so he couldn't quite get the chances or the momentum. But yeah, I think Jay's return has been pretty solid in terms of he's got a few goals this year. He's looked a threat. He's still young. He's still developing and improving his link-up play and his other work. But yeah, he's a 9, and he's obviously a very, very important player, because he sets off that press for us and gives us that intensity.
Just finally from me, is there any updates on any injuries that you can provide? Bright's obviously coming back in from suspension, so is there a possibility that we can shuffle the pack and Smokey may be moving back into midfield, perhaps?
Bright's obviously back after suspension, so yeah, that gives us the option obviously to do that. He's back in the fold. He's obviously had a little bit of a in and out few weeks with a knock and the suspension, but he's obviously a player that can play right back as well, so he's back in. You've got Williamson is training again, kind of outside, but not with the team just yet, so he's a bit of a way off. But other than that, people like Marvin is obviously growing in his fitness all the time, having been injured for a while. So we're getting there. I think some players are finding rhythm that maybe haven't played so much, and they're getting going now. So I feel like we're actually physically getting into a decent position for these 3 games coming up.
That's Chris.